Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Finding Purpose of My Life. If you're new to the channel, my name is Nika. I just post my daily life routine as a corporate girl and just yap about all the questions that comes to my mind. So welcome back. And to be really honest, the thing is that today, like randomly, one of my friend just questioned me, Nika, like, do you really showcase the true self that you are to the world? And because of that, it really made me question the whole existence of myself in this world. I do not know if these questions ever come across in your mind, but let's try to understand this life that we are living far better. Honestly, like I feel like we have all this version of ourselves, and what and how we showcase to the world is quite different than the one that you live by yourself. And to be really honest, how many of you are showing the real self on Instagram? Yeah, exactly. Because if we were really real, half of our captions would be like mentally tired, emotionally confused, physically here, but my our mind is somewhere else, right? So is it actually safe to show the real you to the world? Or should we keep using our socially acceptable personality like a security blanket? Let's admit it, right? uh, like we all have this multiple personalities, not medically. We do not panic maybe. However, whenever we talk about the different versions of ourselves, we just demonstrate something that we have not been thinking about, or we're not processing of the fact that we showcase the different version of ourselves to the world, right? When it comes to work, we say that, okay, yes sir, noted ma'am, will do sir. That is what I've been doing. When it comes to friends, bro, listen to this. Listen to this information, listen to this tea that I have, and I have something to spill, and all, right? When it comes to family, you just simply say that, okay, you're just being very comfortable with them, that like, I'm not hungry. And then later on, you're whenever you're hungry at midnight, you find yourself eating something, trying to find the food that your parents or your family left for you at midnight, and suddenly your mom pops up, uh, for her to drink something, to drink water and all, and then she finds you um, eating food when you already said that, okay, like, I was not hungry. But at that moment also, you do not even care if your mom judges you on that. They will not in fact judge you, they will be in fact happy of the fact that you are eating something, right? So these are the versions of ourselves, that we showcase to the world when it comes to our loved ones, significant others, and even in the corporate settings that we have, colleagues, or like acquaintance and all, right? So, and living this apart, we also have this, uh the real version, right? The one who overthinks at midnight, like 2 a.m. and 3 a.m., and replace conversations from like 3D16. I don't know if you've ever done this, but I still remember some of the things that I did when I was in high school, and I was like, no, I shouldn't have done that. There was one time that I had a crush on on one of the seniors that we have, and in the high school that I used to go to, there was a ritual that whenever we are done with our board exams and all, The ones who pass out will come to the school and then just like just spill this I mean like just scatter all this sweets and all. And there was one time that I got a sweet that was given by the crush from one of my friend, because she was like, just keep this for yourself because it was given by your crush. And I'm like that had me think about the fact that okay, maybe he is also into me and all, right? I was just being too much of myself. But in reality, what happened was that the sweet was given to one of my friend, and I was just the other person where uh like where randomly it came to me. I do not know if you get that, but at that moment, even if the other person was not aware of what I was going through at that moment, I felt very embarrassed in a way. So that's what happened. So like we have these different versions of ourselves that then made us question if we are tired of being the person that is not true to ourselves, and that is and that is of the fact that we are like just a person with a mask, or we put up a facade to the world where we are not being true to ourselves, right? And we hide our true self because society has that rule, right? I know that some of you might be thinking that okay, another version of that story where you always brings the society and all. I know, but somehow I feel like the uh like being that individual, I feel like it also has to do with how you were brought up in the society that we are living. Because in the society that we are living, we have heard a lot of phrases like don't be too emotional, don't be too honest, don't be too different and all, right? But somehow being fake is called professional. Ever notice how honesty is appreciated only when it's convenient? This is something that I have not realized for myself from the longest time. However, I was like, okay, that makes sense. That is something that has been going on, right? And one more question like that came to me was, have you ever been called too much for being honest? Because even at the present time, whenever I like go to my office for work and all, sometimes I share things that okay, uh these are the things that I have experienced in life and all. However, I will limit myself. On the other hand, the other person, the colleague that I have, they will share a lot of things which is like which made me feel like if I was that person, it will be too personal for me that I won't be able to share that. So somehow that made me question that is it too much for the other person to share all this information, especially when it comes to the relationship that we have with a colleague and all, right? So we always have this fear of judgment, uh, fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood. The real us isn't scary because it's bad. Maybe it's scary because it's unpredictable. I feel like the question that came to me when I am in a space where some of the people are very like are very secure in what they feel about something. Somehow there are times that I'm reluctant to share something with them. Because of that, maybe you stop yourself from opening up to the other to the other like other person and all. Maybe that is the reason why. So people like versions of you they can control the real you, right? No instruction manual and all. So sometimes like whenever you are in a situation where you feel like opening up, you feel that okay, and vulnerability comes instantly. It doesn't have to be the fact that okay, there is a switch button that makes our makes our brain function in a way that okay, I now is my time to be vulnerable to the other person. It's just that there will be situations where you feel like you cannot give a control, you cannot have control of yourself at that time. So that is the reason why whenever we are sharing something to the other person, it just comes out. Maybe you can say that slip of tongue and all, but showcasing the real you could also be risking your like real version of yourself. I do feel that. So in when it comes to like social media and all, they in social media we have a lot of influencers, we have a lot of people who have been opening up about the fact that okay, if you want to find the true version of yourself, then you have to be yourself, right? But also said only if it is aesthetic, because I feel like there was a time that whenever you post something on social media, you just try to be cool, you just try to be that person who just do not care what the other person or the world thinks about you, and you feel like this is the cool version of you. And it was something that you feel like okay, now I am hopping to the trend. However, in social media, what I have found and observed is that now people are being true to themselves, and that is called as aesthetic. Now I might be wrong, but if you feel anything like that, please let me know. uh, because there is a reason why I say this. Even when you are trying to be real, by like clicking a picture of yourself or taking a video or posting a reel on social media, it feels like you are being real, and you can be real, but you have to make sure of the fact that it has a good lighting and all, right? Let's be honest. Because it's not safe to be the real version of you. And on the other hand, not everyone deserves access to you. Some people don't want honesty, they want just a comfort that they have been building for themselves. Being real doesn't mean that being careless. It also means being selective of the person that you would want for them to to have an access to your life, because I believe that is one thing that I have been doing my whole life still now. So that is the reason why I have been asking all this question that okay, is it okay to save the like real version of you for the right person, for the people who deserve to see the real me? Or is this just um is it just okay to take a risk to show the real version of you to the world? Because in the end, that's how you find the real people or real personality from the other person, right? So and one more thing that comes to my mind is that authenticity without boundaries is self sabotage. uh, because at one time you will be thinking about the fact that, and you have to think about the fact that you do not owe everyone the real you. Some of them do not deserve to see the real you, right? And for ourselves, we owe that honesty to be like saved in in a very safe place which is honesty, right? You have to be really honest with yourself just to find the real version of you. And the rest of the world can get the filtered version of yourself. Even in that filtered version of yourself, the world is also getting to see the other side of real you, if that makes sense, right? So your real self is not for crowds, it's for people who feel like home. Because in the end, what we deserve as a human being is a home where we live peacefully, right? So, um, a question to you guys, or a question to you, who is the one person you can be fully yourself with? And I also asked this question to myself, and I feel like the um, people that I was surrounded with, and uh, I could show the real version of myself, is the person where they have seen the dirty side of me. Even if they have seen the dirty side of me, they were sitting beside me. Even if they did not have anything to share or anything to give back to me. By giving back, I mean an advice, or even if they are helpless in that situation about how they can take the pain from me. But just for them sitting beside me made everything clear to me that okay, this person is the one who deserve to see the real version of myself. To be really honest, being real is risky, right? But pretending forever is also exhausting. Human being is a social animal, so we have to exist in this world socially. We have to be able to we have to be able to find the people who gets you, and somehow who is compatible in the uh, in few of the versions that you have for yourself, right? However, at the end of the day, we do not need to shout our truth. We just need to stop hiding it from ourselves. So be real where it's safe, be guarded where it's not. Um, that's not fake, that's emotionally intelligent, I would say. Because like recently I was watching and scrolling through my Instagram. I saw one reel where it was said that like we have to be the dog gliding above the water, even though we are trying to figure things out behind the scene, and we are just literally like flapping uh, or paddling our legs underneath the water. So that is the reason why it's very important for us to safeguard the real version of you from the world. And once we get a hold of the person where you have the trust in the fact that you can showcase the real you, that's when you display it. There's no rush in that. So at the end, that's how you find the real version of yourself. That's the truth. So if this episode felt like it read your mind, um, don't worry, because we're all confused together on this question. So yeah, like for today's episode, this is the end of it. See you in the next episode, and bye.